is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Last night at Comerica Park, we witnessed one of the more magical moments in this ballpark's recent history. J.D. Martinez, a solo shot off Chris Sale in a pinch-hitting moment that many will remember forever. J.D. giving the Tigers a win last night, and today we have the final game in this series. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us here. Well, what do you got to say about last night, Rod? We're still giddy about what happened here at the ballpark. It was truly magical.
Special. I mean, they had a tough time sleeping last night. When you have that much energy at the ballpark, when you go back to the crib, you're not going to be able to sleep. And I watched the replay. Your call was absolutely epic. Congratulations on calling the home run as well. We've been a part of some special moments here at Comerica Park, but none bigger than last night. This place just went simply bananas. It was a lot of fun.
Well, who knows? We might have another special moment today because you've got another guy coming back from injury, and that's Jordan Zimmermann.
You know, it's good to see him back. I mean, the guy has not pitched since June 30th. He's still trying to work out some kinks. He had a couple of starts down in the minor leagues, but expect Zimmermann to go out there and to compete as he always competes. He's got a fastball that tops out at about 93. He's got nice little breaking ball. He's got a curveball, doesn't use his changeup very much. Talked to Rich Doobie, the pitching coach, before the game today. He said more than likely they try to get him to 90 pitches or so, but they're really going to watch his arm slot here today. He had some difficulty with his arm swing when he was down in the minor league, so we'll watch for that and we'll point it out if he has any issues with his command this afternoon.
Not sure we could beat last night, but you know what? We're going to give it a try here this afternoon. Final game of the series coming up. Glad to have you with us. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios, and we'll check in with Justin White. We've had some magical moments on this homestand. The big 6-run inning on Tuesday and JD's blast last night. Stay with us. Tiger Sox next. last night. Who will be the hero today? We shall soon find out. Jordan Zimmermann back on the hill for the Tigers. He is presented today by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
It's the first time that Jordan Zimmermann has toed the rubber since June 30th. He has pitched a couple of times already this year against the White Sox, and he's beaten them twice. So this appears to be the perfect opponent for Mr. Zimmermann coming off the disabled list.
Here is the starting nine he will face today. The lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, and for Chicago, Tim Anderson is the leadoff slot today. They bumped Adam Eaton down to number 3. It's Abreu batting cleanup, then Morneau, the DH, Frazier, Garcia, Navarro, and Saladino.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health. Left to right in the outfield, you've got Upton, you've got Collins in center field, and you've got the hero in last night's game, and JD Martinez, his first start since coming off the DL. Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, and Romine round out the infield, and Jared Saltalamacchia is the catcher this afternoon.
Well, the Tigers going for the sweep here this afternoon. This is a ball club that is really, really rolling right now, playing as well as anybody in the game.
8 straight, partner.
Now let's make it 9 straight. What do you say?
Why not?
Zim goes to work here, facing Tim Anderson to start things off. Anderson, Cabrera, Eaton in the top 3 spots. Here we go, a strike called on Tim Anderson.
When Anderson first came up from the minor leagues, he was leading off, but the last 3 weeks or so, he's been batting in that number 2 spot, but he's back at the top of the batting order today for Robin Ventura.
Eaton has been considered one of the best leadoff men in the game for a little bit now, but Anderson gives you the same type of qualities.
And Eaton's their best hitter right now. That's why he's batting 3rd. They need him to drive in some runs.
There's a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I like this pitch by Jordan Zimmermann. Real nice breaking ball to a guy that has real good bat speed. Flipped it up there real nicely on the inside part of the plate and kind of tied up Anderson.
Oh, he is hit by the pitch.
Oh, I hit the bat.
Did it? Anderson.
Did it?
Anderson showing some pain here. Home plate umpire Brian O'Norris said it got him in the hand. And they're going to check out Anderson to make sure he's okay. It sounded like it might have hit the bat. It was so loud, but it got him in the hand.
And as far as it went to Mario, I thought maybe it had gotten him on the bat. When that ball hit his hand, it went about 10 feet away from him. Look how far this ball goes after it makes contact with him.
Well, you always hold your breath when you get hit in the hand because there's just no padding there. And Anderson, one of the bright young players in this game, being tended to now. And I think they want to take a look at it as well. So they're going to bring the headsets out very quickly in this one. While they look at Anderson's hand, they're going to review this play. The left hand of Tim Anderson being tended to. That's all hand, isn't it? It's pretty clear there, and that didn't take long. Yep, they've looked at it and they said take your base. So Anderson will stay in the game, hit by the pitch to start this one.
Let's take one more look here as the ball makes contact with Anderson's hand, and once he gets the bat out in front, a lot of guys have their hands off of the bat. They don't necessarily, a lot of guys have their that bottom hand off the bat.
Right.
And so that's why that ball hit his hand. Usually that ball would have hit his bat knob had he not had his left hand wrapped around the knob.
So a leadoff man on here for the White Sox as Cabrera stands in. Melky Cabrera, left-handed batter, showing bunt. Strike 1 on Cabrera. Melky batting .307, although the Tigers have handled him pretty good in this series. He is just 1 for 9.
Hit into a couple of double plays last night, and be a real nice start for Zimmermann to get a ground ball here to get off to a nice start, get a double play ball.
Instead, he pops it up left side of the infield for Iglesias. 1 gone. Anderson holding at first base. Here is Eaton now, bumped down to number 3 in the lineup. He's gone on base a ton of times in this series, 6 times already.
And Robin Ventura hoping that he could bring some of that energy from the leadoff spot to the number 3 spot and help them drive in some runs. They've had a difficult time of winning ball games, obviously, and with Abreu struggling the way that he's struggling in that number 4 spot, you've got to get your best bats in the middle of the order.
Eaton 2 out of 6 in the series, but he's walked 3 times. Batting .272.
Andrew Romine over at first base. Initially, he was scheduled to start in center field this afternoon, but a late scratch of Victor Martinez allowed Miguel Cabrera to get off his feet for the afternoon. He's the DH, and Romine simply shifted over to first.
Slapped foul back out of play, 0-1. Tigers also without Cameron Maybin today. He sprained his finger, as we anticipated in the ballgame last night, a mild sprain, so hopefully nothing that'll keep Cam out too long.
Yeah, that left thumb on that dive in center field, the glove kind of rolled over. I've done that many times. It's not a pleasant feeling. And here's that play last night on Cameron Maybin, in case you missed it, a ball in the left center field gap in the 2nd inning. Look at the glove roll over, and he was in a lot of pain. Played the entire game, though. He wrapped it up. He had a couple of at-bats.
But a day off today. Anderson draws a throw at first base. Got to keep an eye on him. Here's the 1-1. A little bit outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tigers this year have won 8 of the 12 between these 2 ball clubs, including, of course, the first 2 in this series. They've not lost to the White Sox at home this year. Here's a drive into right, base hit. Anderson will move up to second base and stop there. And now the White Sox have a first inning threat going.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter where you put Adam Eaton. He just continues to get it done against the Tigers this year.
We'll bring up Abreu now with 1 out. Abreu 2 out of 7 in the series. 11 home runs this year. The home run numbers are down for Abreu. RBI numbers as well. He's been good for 30 and 100 his first 2 years. And you look at a strike on the inside part of the plate, 0-1.
As a matter of fact, in the first 2 years of a career, 30 homers and 100 RBIs, it's only been done twice in the history of the game. Albert Pujols is the other player that has done that. 30 homers, 100 RBI in their first 2 years in the big leagues.
Albert's pretty good.
He is really good.
The 0-1 pitch. Missed it inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
That last pitch right there, the fastball inside, is the pitch that Abreu has had a difficult time of laying off of, and that's why his numbers aren't where they have been the last couple of seasons. A nice breaking ball here, down and away, might just get the ground ball that he needs to get out of the inning. Abreu has hit into 15 double plays this year already.
Anderson jockeying down the line at second, and he missed outside, 2-1.
He did try the slider down and away, but Abreu wasn't biting. Looked like Anderson was trying to take off for third there before Zimmerman pitched that last slider to Abreu.
Yeah, it was more than just a little cat and mouse game. He took a really hard step toward third. Now the 2-1. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Zimmerman has not started a game since June the 30th. He's had a couple of rehab starts.
He wasn't particularly sharp in his 2 rehab starts, Rich Doobie, the pitching coach, told me, but he was good in his bullpen session just a few days ago. They said they probably would try to get him up to about 90 pitches here today.
Swing and a miss, 3-2.
That's a good fastball right there. 91 miles an hour. Nice arm slot, high 3/4 arm slot upstairs right by Abreu. And decision time here for Robin Ventura with 1 out. And some speed on the base pass. Does he allow Anderson and Eaton to take off? on the 3-2 pitch and 1 out.
Runners hold, and it's fouled back. Count stays full on Abreu. Zim, of course, had that neck problem, which landed him on the DL, and really it kind of affected the 3 or 4 starts before going on the disabled list. His ERA in the month of June before going on the DL was over 6. And as you know, he got off to that flying start this year, was unhittable in the month of April. That is popped up foul. That'll get back into the seats. Anderson hit by a pitch to lead the game off. 1 out later, a single by Adam Eaton. Tigers come in today 11 over the 500 mark at 59-48.
And really playing some outstanding baseball right here at Comerica Park.
Another foul away. And Tigers coming into play here today 31-19 at home, kind of reminiscent of the years in which the Tigers had 4 straight playoff appearances. They were almost unbeatable at home.
That's right.
And they were getting 50+ wins a season here in this park.
And as loud as this place was last night after the JD Martinez home run, you brought this up earlier, it's one of the loudest crowds we've heard in a long time here downtown.
Another foul back out of play. The standings certainly have tightened up, haven't they?
How about the Tigers here? If things were to end today, they'd be in the playoffs. They jumped ahead of Boston last night.
Brad was asked about that before the game today. He wanted no part of that. He's like, man, there's such a long way to go. I'm happy with the way we're playing, but we want to win today. And now Zim steps off. This will be the 10th pitch coming up in this at bat, so Abreu has put together a pretty good AB here.
And usually when a hitter gets this many looks at a pitcher in any one at bat, the result's a good result for the hitter. And let's hope that's not the case. Let's hope he's still able to roll that ground ball.
And he walked him. That's going to load the bases. Hit batters, single and a walk. Now you got Justin Morneau stepping in. Two of Morneau's 3 home runs this year have come against the Tigers.
And against Fulmer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the one he hit last night in the 3-run shot back in Chicago.
Did you know his teammates were calling him the Fulminator? I did not know that. Did you know that?
I saw it on a tweet by Alex Wilson.
Yeah. You like it?
I like it. Let's go with it. Swing and a miss. And ball out of the strike zone, and Morneau went fishing.
He was good again last night. I had a conversation with Michael in the clubhouse. He didn't feel like he had good command at all last night, but still he went out there and competed. Mario gave up 1 run, and the guy said he didn't feel like he was any good last night.
I'll take that every night.
And twice on Sunday.
Here's the 0-1. Slap foul back out of play, 0-2.
And it looks like their game plan against Morneau is to go upstairs in the strike zone to get him out. He's always been a real good low ball hitter. Former most valuable player for the Minnesota Twins. He won a batting title too. He's had a nice career, Justin Morneau.
Morneau was the MVP in 06 with the Twins, and then just 2 years later he was able to finish 2nd in that award in 08 to Dustin Pedroia that year. So he very nearly had his 2nd MVP. He'll loop that one in the air to shallow left field. Upton coming on now. He'll make the catch. Anderson tags. He will score. It'll be a sac fly and an RBI for Morneau. And the White Sox have a 1-0 lead. It sounded like he hit that thing off the end of his bat, and it went deep enough to score the run.
And Herm Schneider, a longtime trainer of the Chicago White Sox, checking on the youngster Tim Anderson.
Eighth RBI for Morneau. And now here is Todd Frazier with 2 on and 2 out. Frazier at only 215 is 3 for 7 in the series.
Frazier 2 for 10 in his career against Zimmerman with 4 strikeouts. First pitch to Zimmerman was to Frazier was a well-located fastball. The Tigers have been pitching him on the outside part of the plate the entire series. He does have the 1 home run. That's on a ball that leaked back over the heart of the dish, but everything else has been away because he is a dead pull hitter, and very seldom does Todd Frazier use right field.
How about that pitch that Frankie threw him last night in the 9th inning to strike him out? He had him go fishing. That's up high. Wouldn't chase that one 1-2.
After the elevated fastball, we'll see if he goes right back outside with something soft or possibly with another fastball, whichever pitch he feels like he can command the most here in the first inning.
27th pitch of the inning coming up. Ooh, look out, up and in. 2-2 on Frazier.
Here's Frazier's directions of where he hits the ball. 18% this way, 35 this way, 15 here. That's why they pitch him the way that they do, because very seldom does he even go in that direction unless it's a mistake. And if he does go in that direction, usually it's not a homer. It's maybe a base hit or maybe a double.
Little roller right back to the mound. Nice play by Zim. That'll get him out of the inning with minimal damage. 1 run, 2 left. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the first. As we go to the bottom of the first, here is Brad Ausmus's lineup here today, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And for the Tigers, Kinsler, Iglesias, and Miguel Cabrera in the top 3 spots since the All-Star break. Miggy on Faya, Castellanos, JD Martinez back in there. Upton is in left. Collins, Saltalamacchia, and Romine rounded out. And they are facing the left-handed slants of Jose Quintana.
He usually is a tough assignment for anybody that he's going up against, making his 22nd start here this evening. 8-8 with a 2.89 ERA. He has a fastball that gets up to about 92, 93. He's got a curveball that he likes a lot, and he's got a usable changeup. He also will cut the baseball every now and then on right-handers, but not very often.
So here is Kinsler to start things off. Looks like the White Sox have also made some changes. Anderson will be taken out of the game after he was hit by a pitch. We'll get you those changes in a sec. Here is Kinsler, who looks at a strike, 0-1. Ian batting .289, 20 home runs on the year, trying to get it started here for the Tigers.
And Tigers will see a lot of fastballs this afternoon from Quintana.
There's a wave and a miss, 0-2.
Real nice pitch there.
Well, Quintana, the last time he faced the Tigers, should have won the ball game, but the Tigers had that huge comeback against the bullpen late. He was awfully good in that game. Here's the 0-2 pitch. A little bit outside, and 1-2 the count. Quintana's probably thinking, oh my goodness, they got me a run in the first inning. A run.
You know it. And because the last 3 years he should have sued his team for lack of run support. Lack of run support.
They just don't score for him.
And he'd have won.
There's a high drive to left field. That ball is way back, and Kinsler has tied it up. A leadoff home run for Kinsler. Well, he gave that run back. 21 for Ian.
Here's a breaking ball thrown by Quintana that didn't do a whole lot. He flipped it up there and it was sitting on a tee for Ian Kinsler, and Ian Kinsler dropped that back shoulder and he caught it just right and he lifted it out of here. How about that for a start?
Number 21 RBI, number 60.
He's got 21 big flies.
He's having just a monster year as Iglesias looks at his strike. You've got a guy in your leadoff spot with 21 home runs. Iglesias, slow roller back to the mound. Nice play there by Quintana.
Let's take a look at the Chicago White Sox starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Horton. You've got Cabrera in the outfield. You've got Eaton in center field. Garcia in right. You got Saladino now at the shortstop position. Sanchez at second. Frazier, Abreu on the corners, and Narvaez is the catcher here.
One away now. Here is Miguel Cabrera. Quintana missing low and away. Big series for Cabrera, 4 for 9. He has hit safely in his last 3. Fouled straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike. .37 career leadoff home runs now.
7th most in MLB history. How about that?
Numbers are just starting to pile up for Kinsler in his career. See, 1-1. Ian has said he doesn't like to look at the numbers. He probably will once he's retired and you get a chance to kind of step back and see what you've accomplished in the game. But we'll look at him for him, and he's starting to pile up some good ones. A lot of homers, a lot of RBIs. He's stolen some bases in his career. That's flared in the air towards shallow right center field, and it's going to drop. Base hit. When you're going good, you're going good.
And White Sox have been pitching Miguel Cabrera aggressively inside for the most part all year. And here's another fastball that's up and inside to Miguel Cabrera. He doesn't barrel it up. He hits it down more on the label, but still strong enough to muscle it over the head of the second baseman, Sanchez, for a bloop single. It looked like a line drive in the box score tomorrow.
Bullet, screaming bullet.
That's right.
Here's Castellanos. Nick is up to the 4 slot in the lineup today. Victor Martinez gets the day off. He was originally in the lineup. Brad changed his mind. It's rolled to third. Frazier to second one, and the relay is up the line, and it's going to be wide. Safe at first base is Castellanos.
I don't know what happened here with Sanchez. I mean, Miggy had peeled out of the way, and then he simply turns and must have didn't have a good handle on the baseball because he threw that 10 feet away from the first baseman, Jose Abreu.
Taylor-made double play is botched at second by Sanchez. Now it keeps the inning going for J.D. Martinez. He'll line one down the left field line. It's going to drop. Fair ball. Go to the corner. Castellanos to third. They're going to try and score him. Here comes Nick coming home. Here's the relay to the Castellanos cut down on the relay throw, and that will end the inning. They executed the relay perfectly, and Castellanos a dead duck at the plate, but the Tigers tie it up on the Kinsler home run.
He doubled down the left field line off the bat of J.D. Martinez, but the perfectly executed relay of the Chicago White Sox. Take a look at the shortstop here, Saladino. He doesn't know exactly what Castellanos is doing until he gets the ball in his glove. Now he hears the crowd telling him basically that Castellanos is trying to score. He wheels and turns and fires a strike to the catcher, and they're able to get him out. That's just the way you draw it up in spring training, and those are the things that you practice in spring training, very seldom during the regular season, but they executed it perfectly.
In the meantime, here's the drive in the air to center field off the bat of Garcia. That ball going way back to the track, to the wall, and in the bushes.
Garcia, will you stop it?
Oh my goodness, what is this guy doing in this series? That's his third home run, and none of them have been cheap.
He hit a ball a couple of days ago that traveled 465 feet. That one at least 420. This is a four-seam fastball that is right down the middle, and for whatever reason, a guy that has had a difficult time of hitting fastballs all year long has picked on a lot of fastballs here in the series. Here's the one a couple of days ago, in case you missed it. Look where this one lands.
.465 on that one. And Garcia coming back to haunt his old teammates. Hit speed on that one was 111. And just like that, the White Sox reclaim the lead. Omar Narvaez is the batter now, catching today for Navarro. He is 4 for 9 since being called up for the minor leagues. That was on July the 6th. Fouled straight back. 2 balls and 1 strike on Narvaez, who spent 8 years in the minor leagues.
Well, congratulations.
And he's gotten off to a nice little start offensively. 2-1 is lifted toward left field, slicing, going to drop, base hit. So the first 2 reach for the Sox here in the second.
I was talking to Rich Doobie in the clubhouse today, and I was asking him some of the things that he would look for regarding Jordan Zimmermann today, and he told me that down in his 2 minor league starts, Zimmermann was having a difficult time with his arm swing, and that's when the glove and the hand separate and you kind of swing your arm back. He wasn't going in the proper direction, therefore Mario, he was causing that neck pain. That's what kind of landed him on the disabled list, simply because of where he took his takeaway from the glove.
Here's a bunt attempt by Saladino as he takes outside 1-0.
So he said that's what they worked on in the bullpen just a couple of days ago, the arm swing and getting him to a real nice arm slot. But he said it's probably going to take some time. Zimmerman's been out for about 5 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, June 30th, the last start that he has made on a big league field.
And you can tell he is not as sharp today as we have seen him.
Zim had good numbers this year against the Sox coming in. He had beaten them twice. In fact, 3-0 lifetime against them with an ERA of 2.70. Here's the 1-0 pitch. 1-1 on Saladino. 2-1. The White Sox have regained the lead on the home run by Garcia to dead center field. Up and in, 2 balls and 1 strike. So the pitch count is elevated early here for Zim, and as you mentioned, the sharpness doesn't seem to be there just yet.
Tigers bullpen in pretty good shape, and to help Zimmerman get through this one today. They have not been taxed all that much in the last 8 games. All 8 wins by the Tigers.
Didn't go. Jeff Kellogg on the ruling down there at first base, and the count 3-1. Tigers last night used Green and K-Rod out of the bullpen. In fact, Green has thrown the first 2 games in the series. That's up and in. That'll be a walk, and so now the first 3 have reached. Second walk of the ball game now for Zimmerman, and now here comes Brad Ausmus along with the trainer and Rich Dubé.
Yeah, which is an indication of they just don't feel like he's quite right out there today.
Well, you can tell there just is no sharpness early on here for Zimmerman, and when you're coming off injury, you want to make sure that it's nothing injury related. Home plate umpire Brian Onora going out to make sure this is just a medical visit.
And take a look at this last pitch and the release point here of Jordan Zimmerman. Now he's going to release this breaking ball way up top, and we were talking about the fact that he's not getting that hand out in front, and this one just kind of floats up in the strike zone. And he's already thrown a couple up there just like that with no life on him, so they're out there taking his temperature right now to see if he's fully healthy. You know Zimmerman's a gamer. He does not want to come out of the game.
So he has convinced Kevin Rand and Brad.
For the time being.
For the time being is right. We'll see what the results are from here on out. He's got the top of the lineup now. Sanchez getting his first at bat after taking over for Anderson, who left after being hit by a pitch.
Well, if you're Brad, you almost have to start to get somebody up in your bullpen. There's nobody out. They have runners on first and second, and he's not very sharp here today. You hate to go to your bullpen early, but you don't want this game to get away from you.
Now Saltalamacchia goes out to the mound. 2 on, nobody out. The home run by Garcia has made it 2-1 Chicago. Sanchez has the third baseman in tight. He shows bunt, pops it up. Saltalamacchia. Oh, what a play by Salty. And he held on to it. He has a back full of dirt right now, but what a play.
It's a nice job here by Zimmerman and also Saltalamacchia. They knew he was bunting, so he threw the fastball up in the strike zone, and Sanchez still tried to bunt it. Saltalamacchia was able to find that ball in just a split second, getting rid of that mask and stretching out and making a nice play. It's a nice play by Salty.
So instead of advancing the runners, 1 gone now with men at first and second. Here's Melky Cabrera. And Cabrera swings and misses.
And Saltalamacchia is lucky that he did not hit his head on that brick. Got close to it.
Whoa. Flared foul, back out of play on 2. Check out the back. Can't read his name or see his number. Everybody seems right to be playing with that type of intensity these days for the team.
Agreed. They're feeling it. Lots of swagger. A whole lot of confidence. I think this team is finally starting to play the way that some felt it would play when they left spring training. JD back now. He's taken 2 swings. He's seen 2 pitches. 1 homer, 1 double.
Starting pitching has been very good. The bullpen has really rounded into form. And the team playing some pretty good defense as well. The 0-2. Spoiled that one foul down the third base line. Bruised left hand for Tim Anderson. That took him out of the game after he was hit by a pitch in the first. Cabrera popped up in his first at bat. He's batting with 2 on, 1 out. The 0-2 is a grounder back up the middle into center field, a base hit. That'll get a run in. RBI single for Cabrera. Saladino goes to third, and it's 3-1 Chicago.
And one of the things that Melky Cabrera has always been known as is a good bad ball hitter, and here's an example of that. This ball is not a strike. It is up and it is out of the strike zone, and somehow, some way, Cabrera able to get on top of it, and not only get on top of it, but hit it hard enough to hit it through the infield.
And that is his 50th RBI of the season. First and third now, still only 1 out, and here is Adam Eaton. Singled in his first at bat. Runner bluffs at first base. Cabrera had a 3-4 step lead, but then put on the brakes. Eaton now on base 7 times in this series. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Got some action. Tiger bullpen working now. Alex Wilson heating up. Right off the mask of Saltalamacchia. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Eaton, as we mentioned, is rounded into one of the better players in the American League. When he was a kid, he went to, as most baseball players, a lot of the showcases. But he never got any attention from any of the college coaches because he was, well, short in stature. He was only 5'7". He's 5'8" right now. But he went up and asked one of the coaches and said, how come nobody's paying attention to me? Nobody's scholarship offers. And he flat out was told, because you're 5'7", not 6'2". And so he got little attention. But he is here to tell you, and so are a few other guys like Jose Altuve, David Eckstein through the years. I mean, you don't have to be 6'2" to play this game.
No, you have to have some heart. And those 3 guys that you just mentioned obviously have a whole lot of heart. Altuve, Eckstein, and Eaton. Eaton has the hit tool. He also can run. He can throw. He's a good defender.
We'll line this one in the air toward right. And going to be caught by JD, sizing it up, bringing it home. Here's the throw, and he is safe. Oh, what a slide there by Saladino. Just avoiding the tag of Saltalamacchia.
I guess the arm of JD Martinez is okay. It's not 100%, but I was talking to JD yesterday, and he said one of the things that he has to do with that right elbow is he has to keep it warm, and you can see he has it wrapped right now with the sleeve on there, and he made a terrific throw to home plate. It's just an outstanding slide here.
Well, that's a great angle right there. You can see the daylight between the glove and the player.
Wonderful slide.
So Saladino gets in there.
And nice call by Brian O'Nora as well. He was right on top of the play.
Here's Abreu now with 2 outs. It is a 3-run inning. And Abreu swings and misses. He had a walk in the first inning. Home run by Garcia got it started. RBI single by Melky Cabrera. And a sac fly now by Eaton. Driven deep to left field. Upton looking up, and that ball is going to clear the wall. It's a home run. 2-run shot for Jose Abreu. His 12th of the year.
Well, Brad and also Rich Doobie is still in place in the dugout. You wonder if Brad will take Jordan out of this game after 51 pitches.
White Sox have opened up a 6-1 lead.
It's a fastball, and Abreu simply turns on it. Yeah, way too much plate for a guy that's hit as many home runs as he's hit since coming stateside.
Here is Justin Morneau. This has turned into a 5-run inning for Chicago. And some celebrating going on in the dugout for the White Sox. There's a ground ball, fair ball down the line at third base. Morneau chugging towards second. He'll get in there with a double. And that's going to be it for Zimmerman as Brad Ausmus comes walking out. The 2-base hit by Justin Morneau chasing Jordan. Alex Wilson will be summoned from the bullpen. It's a wall-side windows pitching change. We'll be back to Comerica. Jordan Zimmerman out of this game, scoring 5 against him in this inning. Now 6-1. Alex Wilson will take over out of the Tigers bullpen.
Earliest we've seen Alex Wilson in a contest in quite some time. And he's doing a nice job. However, 41 games now he's appeared in with a 3.07 ERA. He's got a fastball, cuts it as well. Nice breaking ball. Fastball tops out at about 93 for Wilson.
Zim ends up throwing 53 pitches before departing. Runner at second, still his responsibility. And Todd Frazier looks at ball 1. Frazier is the 9th man at bat in the inning. He ended the first with a bounce out back to the mound. In the air, right field, and playable for J.D. Martinez. That'll end the inning. But it's a big inning, a 5 spot for Chicago. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Coming to Comerica. And by Ram. Find your summer of fun with great deals at the Ram Summer Clearance Event. Well, the Tigers have some work to do now. It is 6-1. White Sox have the lead. Jordan Zimmermann is done for the afternoon, so we'll see if the Tigers now can rebound here. Abreu with a home run for Chicago. Quintana now will take over on the hill here in the second after giving up 1 run in the first. Justin Upton leads it off, and he swings to the first and pops it up. First base side for Abreu. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here is Tyler Collins. A late add to the lineup today. Collins was not scheduled to start with the lefty Quintana out there, but Victor Martinez, a late scratch, which moved Romine from center to first, and Miggy DHing today. Collins looks at a strike. A pretty good stretch here for Tyler since being called up for his 3rd stint from the minor leagues. And it's a little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The previous team the Tigers had in here, the Astros, and we all know they love to shift. They are the league leaders in that category. They had Collins shifted a little bit toward first base to the right side, and Collins simply went the other way against them. The 2-1 pitch. This time he pulls it. Oh, what a diving stop. Sanchez from second throws him out.
That's a real nice play by Sanchez, who was not in the starting lineup initially. And Tyler Collins hit this ball 1 hopper to Sanchez. He took 1 step and then he left his feet, and he was able to make a play and stop that ball from getting into the outfield. It's a nice play by the second baseman, Sanchez.
Even Collins said, whoa.
He made that play. Man, come on, man. I need my knocks.
Exactly.
I don't get to play every day.
Here's Saltalamacchia. In there is strike called, 0-1. Salty batting 2-0-1. Had the home run against the White Sox on Sunday, which tied the game. That dramatic ninth inning the Tigers had in Chicago before losing it in the bottom of the ninth. But still, they hit 3 home runs in that ninth inning and tied the game at 4. Here's the 0-2. Missing low. Now Quintana ready with the 1-2. Just inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Usually when Quintana goes inside, it's with a cut fastball. Every now and then he'll throw a 4-seamer in there, as he did there to Saltalamacchia.
By the way, his last name is now Amacchia because the first half has been wiped out with the dirt.
Yeah, you can't see it, that's for sure. Made a great play on a pop-up.
Again, he busted him inside and missed. 3-2 the count. Infield playing to pull to the left side against Salty. And he'll take a walk. 2 out, base on balls.
Here is the big boy, big play of the game, and it was an attempted bunt by Sanchez, the second baseman, that was popped up, and Saltalamacchia. Man, did he alert the ball in a hurry, and not only alert where the ball was, but able to get to it and made a really nice sprawling grab.
Here's Romine. Soft line drive to second, caught there by Sanchez to end the inning. No runs. Tigers get a walk, leave a man. We go to the third at Comerica. To 1 as we go to the top of the third. Stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites. Now being served all day. Alex Wilson going back to the mound. He had to come on in the second to get the final out after Zim was taken out of the ball game. And he will face the guy that led off the second with a home run. That was Avisail Garcia. 6 runs on 6 hits for Chicago. A run on 3 Tigers hits.
3 home runs in the series for Garcia, the former Tiger, and nothing cheap about any of them.
Well, the one he hit today was over the center field wall, which is marked off at 420. He skies this one in the air to right field. JD Martinez coming in.
Wind is playing with it a bit. 1 pitch, 1 out. It'll bring in the catcher Narvaez, who was part of that big 5-run second with a single. You mentioned it. We don't normally see Alex Wilson pitching this early in games. Typically, he's in about the 6th inning and beyond.
Yeah, but one of the things that Brad might be taking into consideration is the fact that his offense has been so hot lately. They have scored 57 runs in their last 8 games, and the way your offense is playing, if you're Wilson and you can keep this White Sox batting order in check the remainder of the way, and then maybe that offense will wake up and start to chip away at Quintana here this afternoon.
Yeah, good strategy. Wilson had an ERA of just a little bit over 1 in his previous 22 outings coming in. See Kevin Rand chatting with Brad right now.
There's no doubt they're talking about George Zimmerman. Obviously, I'm speculating, but probably right. What you think?
Well, he's not talking about the bat boy. I know that. Bat boy's got a sore hammy, Brad. What do we do?
No, you gave me that look like don't speculate. That's what you gave me.
No,
that look.
I didn't, I didn't give you any look.
You looked at me and said, don't you speculate. We're not supposed to.
Well, I'm going to back you up on this. It's got to be about Jordan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Narvaez.
We were scheduled to have the general manager Al Avila over here in the top half of the 3rd inning, but he has not made his way over yet. He was on the phone when this inning began, so there's no doubt that they're kind of discussing what may happen here shortly.
Yeah, there are more pressing issues right now for Al. 2-2 on the left-handed batting catcher, and he'll take a ball outside. 3-2 the count. Jordan threw 53 pitches in this game today, 35 strikes, 18 balls.
You can really tell from the word go today that he just wasn't quite himself. But we had heard that he wasn't himself in the 2 outings that he had made in the minor leagues.
There's a walk. We're going to Saladino now. Well, Fiesta Tigres is Saturday when the Tigers battle the Mets at 7:10 p.m. First 10,000 fans 21 and older get a free Maglio Ordonez ALCS figurine. Visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Here now is Saladino. 1 on, 1 out. Strike called on the outside corner.
I sent a tweet out earlier today, and I was asking some of the folks out there which was their most memorable moment here at Comerica Park, and a lot of people weighed in with the Maglio Ordonez home run that sent the Tigers to the World Series.
And it's really hard to argue that. I mean, for pure electricity and for what it meant for the city, getting the team into the World Series, awesome.
They also brought up the Armando Galarraga near perfect game. Of course, JD Martinez in the theater in last night's game.
That's fouled off the mask.
And a lot of people had that home run that Carlos Guillen hit off Weaver. They loved that moment.
You know what?
That was a great moment.
It's top 3 for me.
That was a great game that day. Strangely enough, there was none on the no-hitter.
Really?
And I did not get one on the no-hitter. Not a one.
Well, it's on my list.
Oh, for sure.
It's on yours as well.
It's a top moment.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 on, 1 out, 6-1 White Sox. That'll miss inside. You know, I sent out a tweet last night after the game saying best game ever.
Right.
You know, just a kind of a general, hey, that was a great time last night. Best game ever.
And everybody said you're absolutely right, right?
No. They got all over me. Well, Maglio was the best game ever. No, it was just a general comment.
Right.
I didn't mean it was literally the greatest game
You
ever
were just
played.
throwing it out there. At the moment, it was great.
3-2 on Saladino.
And that was special, though. I
Yep.
mean, the standing ovation by the fans before he stepped in the batter's box, and then getting the first pitch fastball and hitting it out of the ballpark. And then the crowd after that was the loudest we'd heard this place in a long, long time.
Runner goes on 3-2, and it's popped up. Shallow left field. Iglesias tracking back to the grass. 2 gone. That'll bring up Sanchez. Sanchez popped up a bunt in his first at bat, but it didn't matter because the Sox would go on to score quite a few runs in that second inning. They ended up with 5. Sanchez made a great diving play in this game, but boys, he's struggling with the bat. 0 for his last 20. Hence an .096 batting average. Strike 1. Tim Anderson started in the leadoff spot, was hit by a pitch, a bruised left hand. So their fine young shortstop is out of the game. Now Wilson with the 0-1. Bouncer back up the middle, and Iglesias can't get it. Base hit. That'll put him at first and second now with 2 outs.
It's a changeup here thrown by Wilson, and just a really nice swing put on it by Sanchez. The ball is down. It's away from him, but not trying to do a whole lot. Hits it right back up the middle.
And that'll break an 0 for 21 spell for Sanchez. It'll keep the inning going for Melky Cabrera, who singled in a run in the second. I still look at this White Sox team, Rod, and I really am surprised with names like Eaton, Abreu, Cabrera, Frazier,
Sale, Quintana,
Quintana,
Robertson in back in that bullpen with Nate Jones. They've got some nice pieces.
Just didn't add up this year.
Got off to a real nice start, and everybody that I talked to around baseball said it was a different team. It was a different looking Chicago White Sox team, and they were going to compete, and they were going to be in this thing for the long haul, but it hasn't been that way.
You know, it really is a cliche when they say it is not played on paper but on the field, and it is so true in baseball. 1 ball and no strikes on Melky Cabrera. That'll miss. 2-0 the count.
And White Sox right now 5 games under 500, 10 games off the pace. Tigers have creeped within 2 of the Cleveland Indians. They're trying to run the Tribe down quickly here, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not really paying too much attention to the wild card. I mean, they are, but they got a chance here now to win this division. Here's the 2-0 coming to Cabrera. That's in the air. Shallow right field. Kinsler back. And Ian will get there for the final out. No runs, a single, a walk, 2 men left. Comerica Park, the White Sox on top here, 6-1 in the finale. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, and Al Avila, the general manager of the Detroit Tigers, joining us here for a half inning. And Al, things aren't going swimmingly today, but I want to get your thoughts on last night. I mean, this team is playing some pretty good baseball right now, and when you get a team winning 8 consecutive ball games and you get the magic that happened here last night, it really has to be a good feeling heading into the dog days of summer.
Yeah, we've been playing good baseball, as you said. We've been winning some games. Tight games late in the game sometimes, we've been hitting and scoring a lot of runs, so we've been winning in a lot of different ways so far, offense, pitching, and defense, other than today's pitching, obviously.
Ian Kinsler leading it off and taking a strike.
Well, I got to shake your hand. Congratulations. Today is the 1-year anniversary of when you were named general manager.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I was just told that.
Congratulations
thank
on
you
that.
very much.
It's been a wonderful year for you. How's it gone for you? I mean, I know you've done a whole lot, but overall this the year, how have you felt about it?
Well, it's been an up and down situation. I mean, last winter we had a great time in trying to put this team together with the trades and signing free agents. Spring training we had several injuries, but we got through it, and actually spring training was a lot of fun. Once the season starts, obviously things change. You have your ups and downs, so it's a grind. We grind it in the front office as well as they grind it on the field.
Al, baseball is so unlike any other sport, and I think part of management is to help people understand that if you get up to a slow start in the month of April and it bleeds into May, there's still so much time left. But it's not just the fans. It's, I think, helping Brad believe and the players believe and all the coaches believe. And is that part of management as well that can be a challenge sometimes?
Absolutely. That is the biggest challenge, actually, because all you need to do is stay close throughout the whole season and catch fire at the right time, which is we're catching fire at the right time here in August, and that's what you want. You want to be able to stay close and make a good run and push at the end and get hot at the end, so you can take that right into the playoffs. And it is hard to manage because it's managing the players, managing the staff, the media, the fans, and making sure that everybody understands it's a process, and we're following the process. You got to go through injuries, you got to go through slumps, in and out of slumps. So it's it's 6 months. It's a long time, and we still have a long time to go. We got still 2 months to go. So it is a process throughout the whole season, and you have to manage it well.
Miguel Cabrera standing in here with 2 out, nobody on. And he'll look at a strike 0-1.
How difficult was it this trade deadline for general managers to make a deal out there as far as getting some of those really good players? Was it pretty much a seller's market, Al?
What is it? Seller's market, obviously, as you saw that the price of acquisitions was very, very high for starters and relievers. There really wasn't very many starters available either. That's the biggest key. And the few that there were, I mean, quite frankly, we just didn't have the players to be able to acquire that type of talent, the type of talent that we really needed to make a difference here.
Cabrera batting with 2 outs, nobody on. The Sox on top 6-1. Chatting with Al Avila, the general manager of the Detroit Tigers. That is hammered foul to left field. Al, every trading deadline, I think, for GMs, you kind of have to, depending on what situation your team is, keep one eye on the future, one eye on the payroll, one eye on the current team, and it's got to be a juggling act.
Well, it is, and in our situation, obviously, for years now, we've been, making a lot of trades and trading young players to acquire good players, and we've had a nice run, and we've won a lot of games and some championships, and we're going to continue to win. We're going to continue to win this year. We're going to try to get in there, and I believe we have a great chance with a great team. And but you also have to look at the future.
Al, happy anniversary. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
That's Al Avila, the GM of the Detroit Tigers, as we go to the 4th here at Comerica.
only know anything about, I only know about bogey, Chef.
Yeah. Is there a bogey avenue out there? How about triple bogey avenue? 6-1 is our score
Or
here.
Snowman Avenue.
Ball hit well to right field. Martinez going back, and he'll get there at the warning track. Eaton is retired. Haven't said that very often. One gone.
It's nice of Al to come over and spend that half of inning with us, even though you could tell that he's a little preoccupied in his thinking right now with what has happened here today. Zimmerman not staying out there as long as they would have liked for him to stay out.
Kind of an important guy.
Yes, indeed.
A lot of things going on.
Right.
Here's Jose Abreu. But yeah, you're right. Thanks to Al for spending a half inning with us and kind of giving us the temperature of the team and what it was like at the deadline. That is driven to center field. Pretty good, but playable. Collins under it. 2 gone here in the 4th. A couple of quick outs as well. So Alex Wilson doing a nice job since coming on in the 2nd for Jordan Zimmerman. Here's Justin Morneau. Appears Kyle Ryan will be next in line to try and fill out this game out of the bullpen for the Tigers. Morneau double and a sac fly. 6 runs, 7 hits for Chicago. A run on 3 hits for the Tigers. The 0-1. I know we haven't seen a lot of Morneau, Rod, and obviously he's not going to be the same player he was in Minnesota, but this guy with the veteran presence and a left-handed bat could help them.
No question. Still a quality big league player. And probably not an everyday player at this particular time, but he can still give you some nice at-bats against a good right-handed pitching.
He's been DHing for Chicago.
There was about a 5-year stretch there where he was one of the top 10 players in the game from an offensive standpoint. He did major damage with that bat.
Morneau is 3 for 8 in the series. A couple of RBIs as well. He's going to rifle that one down the right field line. It's going to get down and go to the wall. Martinez plays to Kara. Morneau trying for 2, and he'll get there with a double. 2-out, 2-base hit for Justin Morneau. Eight hits now for Chicago. Frazier stands in 0 for 2 in this game. Trying to drive in a 2-out run. Let's go down to Kristen Keith for a little bit more on Todd Frazier.
Hey Mario, well, White Sox third baseman Todd Frazier, he's gone yard 30 times this season, and that backs up his nickname, the Todd Father. Well, he got that nickname when he first debuted with Cincinnati because he's a New Jersey native. So obviously Godfather stuck with him and he loves the nickname, but he's really backing it up this year. Obviously he's leading the MLB in home runs, but ironically he has not seen the movie. He said he's seen bits and pieces but actually hasn't seen the whole thing. So I gave him a quote. I said, if we get the sweep today, just know it's not personal, it's strictly business, Mario.
Very nice, Kristen, thank you. Yeah, the old Todd Father. Who has not seen The Godfather? You've seen The Godfather.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. Guess Todd Frazier hasn't seen The Godfather, but he'll take the nickname. Now Wilson ready with the 1-1 pitch. Roll toward third base. Nice backhanded play. That's a fair ball, and now Castellanos going to run at Morneau and just tag him. It's an odd-looking play. Morneau came right at him, and Costi took the easier play. Sox lead this one 6-1 this afternoon. Ours brings you the big money encounter. Quintana's on a list of guys that, well, quite honestly, has not gotten a whole lot of run support.
Well, lowest ERA with a losing record and starter since 2014. Quintana obviously on that list. His record 26-29. Tyson Ross on the list. Tehran of the Atlanta Braves along with Alex Wood. Today, a lot of run support, however, for Quintana. He's got 6 runs, the most run support he's had all year.
Got to feel like Christmas to Quintana. He got 1 in the first, 5 in the second, and the first one is in for a strike on Nick Castellanos. Castellanos, Martinez, Upton in the Tigers' 4th. Quintana's 0-1. 0-2 the count.
Well, when he gets 6 runs of support, he is 12-0 in his career. So that's not good news for the Tigers as we speak on Jose Quintana. Still a lot of baseball to be played here today, though.
He's gone through a stretch of 9 of his last 14 starts with 1 run or less.
That's terrible.
I mean, when you're a starting pitcher and you take the mound pretty much every 5th day, and you know that you've got to battle and battle just to have a chance.
And just think about half those starts probably played in his ballpark in Chicago, which is a very hitter-friendly ballpark.
That's a good point. Here's the 1-2. Rolled foul. Castellanos with a fielder's choice ground ball was able to reach in the first. Tigers had a chance to take the lead in that first inning after Kinsler homered to tie it up. JD Martinez doubled but had a runner thrown out at home plate. Flared out of play. Castellanos now 1 for 4 in the series. It's been a steady and very good year for Nick, who seemingly has taken the next step both with the bat and the glove. Backed him out of there, and the count levels now 2 balls 2 strikes.
Big difference there in the offensive numbers through the 3rd of August last year for Castellanos. This year 18 homers, 58 driven in, and a much higher batting average.
That's in the air towards center field. Adam Eaton cruising over.
Here is the Magic Moonshot, and it is presented by Magic Window, and it happened last night. It was the 8th inning. It was JD Martinez making his first appearance in about a month. He got a fastball from Sale, and he hit it 440 feet from home plate in the bushes out in center field. I missed the curtain call last night. Did you miss the curtain call too?
I didn't see one. Yeah, it's a good point. I didn't see one at all. I love JD's comment at the end of the game regarding the standing O he got. He said, if I could thank each fan here personally tonight, I would.
He had a backyard moment when he was standing in the batter's box last night. I mean, every kid that's ever played baseball. It's not a World Series home run. As he grounds out to Quintana.
I love that backyard moment.
But it was a backyard moment where every kid, I mean, you're just kind of sitting there and you're dreaming of hitting a big home run, and that's exactly what he was able to do. He also talked about the fact that when he went to the plate, he had a plan in place, he said, which all big leaguers do. When you go to the plate, you have a plan. But he said the crowd, he took him back to Little League and he forgot all about his plan, and he said just see ball, hit ball.
Here's Justin Upton. Yeah, the plan went out the window. And it didn't matter. He got that first pitch from Sale and hit it out. So in your backyard moment when you were a kid, did you hit a game winner for the Dodgers growing up in Cali?
You know, I was more of a Pirates fan.
Really?
Seriously, man. I loved the Pittsburgh Pirates when they would come to LA, man. I would always go to their games. I was a huge Pirates fan. Although I loved the Dodgers, yeah, I probably was in the backyard talking about being a Dave Parker or a Willie Stargell or somebody like that. Even though those guys batted left-handed, I was a huge Pirates fan.
That's cool. Well, JD had one of those moments last night, only for real. 1 ball, 1 strike on Justin Upton. Grounded foul at home plate. 1-2 on JL.
I think my love for the Dodgers has really grown, though, since I've become a broadcaster, because I always listen to Vince Scully. And of course, he's one of the best that has ever done this. So yeah, I think my appreciation for the Dodgers has a lot to do with Vince Scully.
And they have a really cool ballpark, a scenic area for that ballpark. It's really a gorgeous setting.
Chavez Ravine.
Something in the eye of Brian O'Nora. And he lets Narvaez know we can continue. Upton batting, 2 outs here in the fourth. 6-1 Chicago, series finale. Missed inside.
Quintana's done that a whole lot here today.
A bunch.
A lot of four-seam fastballs inside. He's made several Tigers move their feet so far this afternoon. That one at 93 to Upton.
Swing and a miss, and Upton goes down with an awkward swing. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Quintana. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. What a gorgeous day here in downtown Detroit. Unfortunately, the White Sox have a 6-1 lead. They got a 5-run second. And we've got a Wallside Windows pitching change. It'll be Kyle Ryan.
Hey, Ryan's done a nice job in the variety of roles that he has pitched in the bullpen for the Tigers. A 3.44 ERA, pitching in his 38th game.
It'll be the bottom three to face Kyle Ryan. It'll be Garcia, Narvaez, and Saladino. So Wilson goes 2 and a third. In relief of Jordan Zimmerman, who is taken out of the second in this game. Garcia homered to center field in the second. 3rd home run of the series. Ball 1 to the former Tiger. Garcia parts of 2 years in the majors with Detroit. Of course, he starred in the ALCS in 2012, had a big series against the Yankees that year. That's down the right field line, sailing back toward the seats. Romine gave it a run. Again, the Tigers are DHing Miggy today, and Victor gets a day off, and this might be a pretty good day for that to happen because it is a warm one out there today.
That it is.
Temps hovering around 90. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 now on Garcia. Tigers coming into this game were a perfect 5-0 against the White Sox at home this year. And they have won 8 of the first 12 between the two.
And White Sox came out swinging the bats aggressively today against Jordan Zimmermann, making his first start since June 30th. They scored 6 runs against Zim in the first 2 innings.
Ryan, the third Tigers pitcher this afternoon. Narvaez waiting on deck. And he missed it high. 3-2. Got some interleague action beginning tomorrow night. The Mets are coming to town. And it's back on the road. Tigers headed out west to Seattle and Texas. Here's the 3-2. It's like Al was saying just a moment ago. We had him on the air. Yes, we played a lot of baseball to this point, but there's still so much left. I mean, that month of August, it really kind of slows down because the weather gets really hot. Tigers are like any other team. They get tired at this point of the year.
Yeah, a lot of baseball. A lot of home games for the Tigers in the month of August as well. And the way they've been playing at home, hopefully they can run down the Cleveland Indians before the month's over. And even before that.
Would you say that August is the toughest month mentally for players?
Absolutely. Because either your team has traded away some really good players because you're out of it, so you've got to get through the remainder of the season with a lot of the younger kids they've called up from the minor leagues, or your team has added, and that adds some pressure. But it's a little easier if you're playing well, because after the All-Star break you just get a burst of energy, especially if you add players at the trade deadline and you're in the hunt.
Hard hit ball to Iglesias. Nicely done.
Everything that Garcia hits, he hits extremely hard against us.
1 away. Well, Saturday it's a star-studded Major League Showdown on FS1. Big Papi and the Red Sox will be swinging for the fences, but Adrian Gonzalez and the Dodgers are out to show they have some power of their own. Action begins Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. One gone now for the catcher Narvaez. Been on base twice in this game, single and a walk. Kyle Ryan's mission has been to improve against left-handed batters. And really, Ryan, when you think about it, if you want to be a guy, a specialist coming out of the bullpen from the left side, you better get lefties out.
And you would think that he would be able to do that with a lot of consistency. He's got that delivery where he kind of steps over toward first base, and he has a long wingspan. So if you're the hitter in this particular situation and you're left-handed, it looks like he's literally throwing the ball behind you, but yet the batting average for him against lefties still over 300. He should be a tougher at bat for lefties.
Yeah, physically it looks like he should be, with that delivery especially. 0-2 on Narvaez. The White Sox lead. We're in the 5th. And waiting on deck, Saladino, the number 9 hitter. One and two. That's in the air towards shallow left, slicing. Here comes Upton toward the line. Foul ground to make the catch. 2 gone here in the 5th against Ryan. Now Saladino. Walking a pop-up for Saladino. He's also scored a run. Came around in the 5-run second. The White Sox in that frame hit 2 homers. Abreu with 2-run shot, and Garcia a solo homer. That'll miss inside 1-0. Two and 0 on Saladino, who's playing second base. The White Sox are without Brett Lawrie. He's been their regular second baseman, but against the Tigers in that last series in Chicago, he hurt his hamstring and then eventually went on the disabled list. And Saladino, who is a shortstop, seeing a lot of reps now at second base.
Saladino has a really good glove, not only playing some second base, he's a good shortstop, and he's also handled himself very nicely at third base.
Versatility never hurts. Played some college ball at Oral Roberts University. On the outer edge, a strike 3-1 on Saladino.
If you're a backup infielder and you can play some shortstop, I mean really play some shortstop, it adds immensely to your value.
Just like Andrew Romine.
Exactly.
3-1 pitch. Right back up the middle into center field.
Boys got their hitting shoes on today.
A 2-out single for Chicago, their 9th hit of the afternoon. That'll bring up Carlos Sanchez, who snapped it 0 for 21 with a single in the 3rd but did not score. I can only imagine when you get like to 0 for 15, 0 for 16, 0 for 20, you wonder if you're ever going to get a hit again.
You start to press. You're taking all kinds of batting practice, extra swings, trying to figure some things out. And in the grand scheme of things, you know what? Sometimes there's really nothing even wrong. Just got to get a good pitch and hit it.
All of the batting coaches come out of the woodwork too, right?
You know it. Brother, sister, mom, dad, everybody. Everybody trying to help you out.
1-0 on Sanchez.
High school coaches calling.
Ryan brings home the 1-0. It's outside. 2-0 the count on Sanchez. Switch hitter batting right-handed against the lefty Kyle Ryan. Melky Cabrera waiting on deck. Saladino occasionally will steal a base. He has 6 so far this year. He's been caught 3 times. Here's the 2-0. Ground ball left side. Iglesias to the grass. What a throw to second for the out.
His exchange to the throwing hand, his release, and his accuracy with the throws are amazing.
Deep in the hole, a quick flip to get the force. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. It is time now for T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. The Cleveland Indians had a 7.5 game lead in the division through July the 20th. Since then, a 4-7 record, and the Tigers have been able to shave that down to 2 games. Putting out on Cespedes, he's not going to be here apparently in Detroit.
No. Cespedes went and played some golf. Then he went and tried to play some baseball on the same night, man. He got hurt.
Here's that update in Cleveland. They're leading today over Minnesota 7-2. They've had trouble with the Indians, but no Cespedes in that lineup for the Mets. Going to certainly help the Tigers' cause.
It really will. He's off to another really good start. He made the All-Star team this year in New York, and since he's put on their uniform, he basically has done the same things he did for half a season here in a Tigers uniform last year.
Tyler Collins leading it off. It'll be Collins, Saltalamacchia, and Romine.
This place should be electric again tomorrow night, Mario, with another marquee pitching matchup. Noah Syndergaard of the New York Metropolitans and Justin Verlander.
Looking forward to it. That's rolled up the middle and bobbled. Quick flip is in time for the out.
It's a nice job there by Saladino staying with that ball.
By the way, you can get a ticket to see the Tigers take on the Mets tomorrow at 7:10 p.m. Plus, get this, a 16-ounce Miller Lite for as low as $19. That's it. It's the Friday night party package. Visit Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER for more info.
And they got fireworks tomorrow night. Big night.
I mean, what more do you want?
You got it all tomorrow night.
JV, party package, Syndergaard, fireworks. What am I missing?
Mario and Ron.
Well,
that's what you're missing.
They'd have to stay home to see us, but don't do that. Come on out to the ball game. Or bring your TV with you. The 0-1 pitch, a bouncer to the right side, base hit.
Look at Salty beat the shift, and it looked like he was trying to do it. You don't see Saltalamacchia hit many balls in this direction, but we're going to take a look at the shift initially, and this is what Salty's looking at, and he's trying to hit something in this direction. Now watch the swing. Inside out. Just guided it over there between the infield. It's a thing of beauty for Saltalamacchia.
Well, Tigers looking for any kind of spark. 8 in a row had been retired, and maybe that'll be their spark. Here's Romine. He'll spray that one foul down the right field line. Andrew, a soft line out to the second baseman in the second. Bouncing ball to second base. Sanchez to second one. Relayed out of time. Romine, too much speed.
That was going to be a very difficult ball for the White Sox to turn over, but it was a nice job by Sanchez getting the ball to the shortstop Saladino, and Saladino, he really came across that bag aggressively, making that throw to Abreu. That's why you hit the front part of the bag, people. You saw where his foot landed on the bag. That's exactly where you want to be, because obviously you get to the base a little bit sooner.
How about Quintana? 17 of 18 first pitch strikes. And there's another.
18 and 19. That's incredible.
Although Kinsler disagreed with that call from Ryan O'Nora.
His pitch count is in outstanding shape. He's only thrown 54. He's got 2 outs in the 5th. No stress whatsoever this afternoon so far for Quintana.
Now the lefty with the 1-1. Checked it, strike call. Ian with a home run in the first inning. That tied the game at 1 run apiece, but then it's been all Chicago since. They lead 6-1. Quintana this year has been pitching really good baseball on the road. Came in with a 2.88 ERA and 12 road starts this year. And Ian looks at strike three. Can't believe it. Brian O'Nora calls him out. It'll be the third strikeout of the ball game for Quintana. Yeah, fellas, that Mike Moustakas injury early, I guess, was one of the big ones. But you're right, they've had guys in and out of the lineup, Rod, and they are showing some fatigue, I think.
Yeah, it's a talented team, and I know, unfortunately for them in Kansas City, they're not performing to the standards they had the last couple of years, but they'll be back, that's for sure. They got a really young, talented team. They've still got quite a few guys under control for the next couple of years.
Yeah, they have a nice core, and with Moustakas coming back as well. One gone as Adam Eaton strolls in. He is the Chevy Silverado most dependable player. This guy's been doing nothing but getting on base against the Tigers.
Man, he has been on base in half of his plate appearances this year against the Tigers. 30 of 60. 20 hits. They've walked him 8 times, and they've plucked him twice.
Well, he's had a nice series. He knocked in a run with a sac fly in the second. He's also singled in this game. The 0-1. Almost plunked him again. 1 ball, 1 strike on Eaton. Former Arizona Diamondback. Ryan's 1-1 to center field. Collins backing up. 2 gone. We'll bring up Abreu. Abreu had gone 32 consecutive games without homering before he homered in the second in this game. That's a long stretch, especially for him. In fact, in the month of July, he hit 0 homers, which was his first homerless month of his brief major league career. But he got all of one back in the second. And you look at a strike right at the knees. Now the 0-1 pitch.
Let's take a look at the hot and cold zone here of Abreu. You see this number right here of 81. That's where up and in 92. Obviously, that's inside. That's inside as well. And that's where he's been getting pitched a whole lot this year. And he has not fared very well. You can see the other damage when he's able to extend the arms. Those red numbers, that's when he really does well.
Sky to right center. It's deep out there. Collins runs it down. It's going to be a 1-2-3 for Kyle Ryan. To perfect your smile, well, now you can. Just tweet your best summer smile photo to @FoxSportsDET with the hashtag BrightSideSmile contest. You're automatically entered to win up to $4,000 toward any service at a Brightside Dental location. Don't miss out. That's a summer smile photo with hashtag Detroit Brightside Smile contest @FoxSportsDET today. So get on the Twitters, as they say.
That was a mouthful there.
It was, man. Here's Iglesias. Got through it, though. Iggy pops one up. Shallow right field for Avi Garcia. One gone here in the 6th. Here's the Call Sam pitcher-batter matchup. This was entering the ball game today. Cabrera 3.75 since the All-Star break.
6 homers, 16 driven in the OPS on base percentage, and you add the slugging percentage, it is over 1,100.
And Quintana deals a strike.
And Quintana's got that firm fastball at about 93 miles an hour. He hides the baseball very well. And hitters will tell you, even though he's only throwing 92, 93, it's very tough to pick up. You see lots of swings and misses on his fastball.
He is now retired 11 of his last 12. And Cabrera is 1 for 2, single strikeouts. Line to right, slicing, foul ball. Oh, barely foul. Right on it with Jeff Kellogg to make the call.
That's what makes Miguel Cabrera so special. When guys throw 90, 92, 93, he doesn't try to pull the fastball. Mickey simply goes with the pitch, and he drives that ball down the right field line. And it didn't miss by much on this ball down the line. Not much at all. He's been hitting some balls extremely hard in that direction.
Jeff Kellogg had a great view of it. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball to second. That'll be routine there for Sanchez. 2 up, 2 down. And 12 of 13 retired now by Quintana. Castellanos 0 for 2. I know Chris Sale gets all of the headlines on this pitching staff for Chicago, and he should. He's one of the best in the game, but Quintana, I think, is overlooked by a lot of people.
A lot of people that don't watch a lot of baseball, they don't know a whole lot about him, but obviously for us, we see the White Sox 19 times a year. We've done that for the last number of years. We know how good he is. There's Chris Sale. He has won 14 games this year. He started the All-Star game for the American League.
One and one on Castellanos. Nick today with a fielder's choice, and he flied to center in his last at bat. Quintana hails from Colombia, 27 years old. Fouled away. 1 and 2.
And Quintana has thrown 66 pitches so far this afternoon, and 71% of those have been fastballs. 71%. So a heavy dose of heaters to the Tigers batters.
One ball, 2 strikes. Hammer to right field, but not deep. And Garcia will make the catch. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Quintana. We go to the 7th. University days roll right along this summer. University of Michigan in the house at Comerica Park on Friday, August 19th. Buy a special ticket package to the Tigers Red Sox game. Get a special edition Tigers baseball cap with the Wolverine colors on it. Buy tickets or get more information by visiting tigers.com/UM. And that ad would look perfect with that ensemble. There's a strike called on Justin Morneau.
Been hanging out in the studio quite a bit this year, and they gave us some hats of all the colors of all the teams that represent the days here.
Really?
You want my Michigan one?
Now here I thought your buddy's sitting next to you here. You'd offer up the green and white, and you throw it back.
No, I'm keeping that one.
Oh, of course.
I'm keeping that one.
Thanks for the offer.
You know we like to have fun with you.
I know it. Justin Morneau is starting things off here. And Morneau takes strike 3. See you later. 1 gone. Well, Ryan now is settling into a nice groove.
And this is a real nice pitch here. We talked about him being better against left-handers. Look at the arm slot here. Look at where the arm is. I mean, that's an extension out that way. And he threw that ball on the black outside, four-seam fastball. Morneau could do nothing with that pitch, but watch it go by. Looked like he had a little disagreement there, too.
Todd Frazier. Frazier looks at ball 1. Frazier's got a little bit of connection with the Tigers, not much. His brother was actually drafted by the Tigers, Jeff Frazier, back in 2004, and played briefly with Detroit in the early 2000s. Pulled to third and gobbled up there by Castellanos. 2 gone. 6 in a row retired by Ryan. That's Mark Lowe warming up. And here is Avi Garcia. Ryan now has thrown 34 in his relief effort here. Tigers had to go with Alex Wilson in the second. Early in this game, Jordan Zimmerman was taken out after a 5-run second. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
It's a good breaking ball there thrown to an aggressive fastball hitter. At least he has been in this series. And located beautifully at the bottom of the strike zone. You can see that ball coming off the fingertips of Kyle Ryan. Same location pretty much. And no need now in throwing anything over the heart of the plate here to Garcia. Make him chase something. At least see if he'll chase on one pitch.
Fouled away. (6-1). White Sox have had that lead since the second. They've out-hit the Tigers 9-4. Quintana's been tough to figure out today. And again the 0-2. High, would not chase. 1-2 on Abisail Garcia.
That's a good pitch by Ryan. And for the most part, the 2 breaking balls outside, 1 breaking ball inside. Then he went upstairs with a fastball to change the eye level of Garcia. And now they're going to try to get in on fastball here.
Popped up. Foul ground, first base side. Romine. An inning ender. It's a 1-2-3 7th. JD Martinez had them on their feet last night. He'll get things started in the bottom of the 7th. The bottom of the 7th inning in a 6-1 ball game, and with more on the reaction of JD's heroics last night, we bring in Kristen Keith.
Mario, JD nearly broke the internet last night with that home run off Chris Sale. Everyone jumped on Twitter to chime in on JD's epic return, including teammate Alex Wilson and Red Wings Danny DeKeyser. They gave their props, while actor Jeff Daniels, who lives over in Chelsea, tweeted, after a standing O for just pinch hitting, JD Martinez goes 430 feet on first pitch. Hollywood stuff, #Tigers. Well, Mario, if anyone would know Hollywood stuff, it's Jeff Daniels, and last night played out just like a movie.
It did indeed. It was a great script. Thanks, Kristen. And it was a whole lot of fun to witness here last night. And then all JD did on the first pitch he saw today was double. That was down the left field line in the first. Tigers had a chance to score a run, but they had a man thrown out at the plate. Just one of those moments where you kind of step back, and I think we will at the end of the year, regardless of how the season ends. We'll look back, Rod, and say that's pretty cool.
It was special. There's no doubt about that. It was one of those moments that sent chills down your spine. That's exactly what JD Martinez said he was experiencing as he rounded the bases after his home run. Good to see him back, though.
Yeah, more importantly than that singular at bat last night, the fact that he's back out there in right field, and it's really going to be important for this team going forward. Really lengthens the lineup again for the Tigers. It's down the right field line, foul.
This is how it started last night.
That's how it ended.
In the bushes.
A standing ovation as he was announced as the pinch hitter.
Place went crazy.
Two balls and 2 strikes on JD. Did not go.
JD told me that the sleeve that he has on his right arm is something that he'll have to wear the majority of the season, he feels. He says that he wants to keep that elbow warm all the time. He's already made a couple of nice throws in the game.
Not going to be hard to keep it warm today.
No.
Rolled foul to third base. Well, Martinez, prior to the injury, was absolutely tearing the cover off the ball. He was 24 for 53 in his previous 13 games before the injury.
Oh, he was rolling.
There's a base hit to right field.
He can hit, man.
Leadoff single here in the 7th inning. Only the 5th Tigers hit of the day.
Here's our high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. Top fastball so far thrown this afternoon by Quintana has been 93, and he's gone as low as 76 with one of his breaking balls.
Justin Upton pop up and a strikeout in this game. Leadoff man on for the Tigers. Upton hits one in the air to shallow right field. Garcia playing deep. Going to drop in, base hit. Martinez goes to third. It's a looping single for Justin Upton. And the Tigers showing some life here in the 7th.
And J-Up might have been beat just a little bit on the four-seam fastball and crowded him just a hair off the label, but he fought it into the outfield. A great read by JD Martinez, who was on first base. He knew that Garcia wasn't going to catch that ball. And as soon as he saw where he was in relation to where the ball was going, he took off for third and made it easily.
This will be the first at bat of the day with a man in scoring position for the Tigers.
Tyler Collins has hit a couple of balls hard today off of Quintana. One to the shortstop, one to the second baseman. The one to the second baseman, Sanchez, made a great play.
Checked it. Did he go? Did not. Couple of ground balls sharply hit. 0 for 2 for Tyler Collins in his 3rd stint with the Tigers this year.
He might be here to stay this time, Mario.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that he has proven that this is coming back from the minor leagues. He can really give this team, well, a little bit of power off the bench. A guy that can play multiple outfield positions.
He can pinch run for you if you need him to pinch run for you. not a burner, but Collins has good speed.
Here's the 1-1. Popped up. See if it finds the seats, and it will. Top of the dugout.
You know, something else regarding that homer last night, that you know, Brad picked the right spot for JD Martinez. He waited for the right spot to get JD into the game. He pinch hit him for McCann. He was not going to hit him for Iglesias, nor was he going to go and hit him for anybody in the top of the batting order. So the one spot that he could get him in, he got him in, and JD, it made his manager look like a genius last night.
There is action in the bullpen. Low now joined by Rondon. Little soft line drive to center, base hit. That'll get a run in. A single for Tyler Collins, and it's a 6-2 ball game.
A couple of bloop singles in this inning against Quintana. One by Upton, this one on a breaking ball off the bat of Collins, which drove in a run.
Three straight hits for the Tigers. They're back to within 4 now, and still nobody out. There is action in the bullpen for Chicago. The hard-throwing right-hander Nate Jones.
Yes, he can get up to triple digits.
The Tigers got to him in Chicago. So here's Saltalamacchia. JD got it started with a single. He has scored the Tigers' second run of the game. Salty single and a walk. He went the other way, shot the ball to right field in his last at bat for a base hit. Popped him up. Left side of the infield, Saladino to the grass. Infield fly rule, one gone. Bring up Romine. Romine is 0 for 2. Chopped foul at home plate right off his foot. No balls, 1 strike on Andrew.
And just about every four-seam fastball that Quintana has thrown today has been right at 93 miles an hour. He's mixed in some nice curveballs. He's threw a few changeups, but most of the pitches today to the Tigers hitters have all been heaters.
He has still only thrown 82 pitches in this game. He's had 3 1-2-3 innings. And a bluff to second base. Quintana gave up a run in the first and now 1 here in the 7th. In the air to shallow center field. It's going to be caught there by Eaton, and the runners will hold. 2 gone. We'll bring up Kinsler. He didn't have that home run in the first. He is 1 for 3 today.
The 21st home run of the season for Ian Kinsler.
Ball 1. Kinsler has hit as many as 32. That was with Texas in 2011. Twice he's gone more than 30. And a legit shot at that this year.
In those 2 years where he did hit those 30 homers, he also stole 30 bases. So he's done that twice. 30 homers, 30 steals. You don't see many guys like that anymore, 30 homer, 30 steal guys.
No, he's done a great job at the top of the Tigers lineup. He's knocked in runs. He's got 10 steals this year. And he's ahead 2-0. Popped him up. Shallow center field for Eaton, who is under it, and that's going to retire the side. Tigers going to run back. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives to Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Final game of the series here against the White Sox today. Chicago ahead 6-2 as we go to the top of the 8th inning.
Little peeps still enjoying themselves out here this afternoon.
And the Tigers now have a new pitcher on the mound. It'll be the right-hander Mark Lowe.
And Lowe pitching in his 40th game here this afternoon. And he has 8 holes. The ERA obviously is very high for Mark Lowe. 29 strikeouts, 15 in base on balls.
Kudos to the bullpen today. Kyle Ryan giving the Tigers 3 scoreless.
Yeah, they did exactly what Brad was hoping that they would do when they came in relief of Zimmerman, who started the game and pitched a couple of innings, hoping they would keep the score right where it was at to give the Tigers offense an opportunity to score against Quintana. And it looked like they were going to get to him that last half inning.
Yeah, they had 3 straight hits, and I guess the closest that they had him on the ropes all day.
But you noticed after Don Cooper, the pitching coach, went out to talk to Quintana, he got back to his signature pitch, Mario, which was the elevated fastball, and he got 3 harmless pop-ups to get out of that jam.
1 ball, 1 strike. These it's funny, these coaches, they do have a reason to being there, don't they?
Oh, no doubt. He told him, you know, go back out, get back to your strength, which is your fastball. And he did that, got 3 pop-ups, one of Salty, one of Romine, and one of Ian.
1-2 on Narvaez. Single walk fly out for the Chicago catcher. Time given now to Narvaez, Saladino, and then Sanchez to follow here in the top of the 8th. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. And Lowe strikes out the number 8 hitter. 1 gone.
Good breaking ball there thrown by Lowe. His fastball velocity's gotten back up to 93, 94, but this is a good breaking ball here. It's about 83 miles an hour. And you got Narvaez to swing right over the top of it.
That is only the second strikeout for Tigers pitching in this game. Saladino, a single, a walk, and a run scored. Strike one. Eight straight retired by the Tigers pen. It's flared foul back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes on Saladino. Here's the 0-2. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, of all the guys in the bullpen, wouldn't you think that Lowe's the one that they really have to get on track here the final 2 months of the season, because they're going to need him to pitch in more games than just games where the Tigers are losing by a lot of runs.
Well, he was so effective early in the season, very early in the season. That one just missed. And it's good that Shane Green has kind of taken the role that Lowe had, which was pitching in the 8th. But man, if you can get him turned around, it's a quality arm that has great experience.
Well, the year that he had last year, in a couple of stops, Seattle, also Toronto, pitching in the postseason, great fastballs, 94, 95, with a good slider. And he showed that in the first month of the season, but then he just really started to struggle. But somehow, some way, and Lowe will play a valuable part for this team down the stretch. But they've got to get him sorted out, or more importantly, he's got to get himself sorted out.
Mark Lowe,
he's working extremely hard. Every day I get to the ballpark, I see him coming out of the bullpen, working on some stuff down there with the pitching coach, Rich Doobie. So he's trying to figure it out.
Just off the plate there. Lowe in the month of April had an ERA of 3.12. Opponent's batting average only a little over 200 the first month. And then May rolled around and the numbers jumped considerably. And there's a walk to the number 9 hitter. Saladino walks for the second time. 1 on, 1 out. By the way, follow Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or your tablets. Top of the order now, Sanchez digs in. 6-2, Tigers trail here in the 8th. 0-1 on Carlos Sanchez. Tigers trying to get their 9th consecutive victory. They fell behind early in this game, 6-1. And right now 6-2 in the 8th.
And very difficult to overcome a deficit like that when a good pitcher like Quintana's on the mound. A guy that's very stingy and a real good pitcher.
That one drilled Brian O'Nora.
Yeah, it did. Rung his bell a little bit. Actually ricocheted off that left arm somewhere.
Tough duty today with the hot weather, up and down, calling balls and strikes, and a foul tip or two. 0-2 on Sanchez. Swinging a foul tip into the glove for strike 3. 2 gone.
It's a 92-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball thrown by Lowe in pretty good location.
Now he's got Melky Cabrera with 2 outs. Tigers give up the third base line against Cabrera. And he drives this one in the air to center field. Collins cruising over. That'll be a scoreless inning for Mark Lowe. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th.
Here's our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Jose Quintana has pretty much dealt here this afternoon against Tiger bats. Some harmless contact very early in the game. He's been able to spot that fastball on the inside. Black to get strike 3. He's also thrown some real nice breaking balls along with some good changeups. He's had all 3 of his pitches this afternoon, and he's also 24 of 28 in first pitch strikes. So he has kept the ball out of the middle of the plate here this afternoon against Tiger bats.
And his first one is hit for a strike here in the 8th inning.
Now 25 of 29 in first pitch strikes. That's why the pitch count is in such great shape.
Quintana has thrown 87 in this game. Tigers pitchers combined 137 pitches. And that's popped up shallow left. And Saladino goes back for the out, 1 away.
His last 4 outs have looked just like that off the bat of Iglesias. 4 pop-ups.
Hey, the Tigers host the Mets this Sunday at 1:10 p.m. Sunday Kids Day. All kids 14 and under receive a free Miguel Cabrera Miggy Bank. Visit Tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Speaking of the big fella, here he is, Miguel Cabrera with 1 out. He is 1 for 3. Slow roller that is hit foul right off his foot. We saw Victor Martinez drill a pitch right off his toe last night, and that had him in pain. Miggy now walking around gingerly.
And Brian O'Nora and home plate umpire giving Miggy a little extra time.
Here's the 0-1.
That is the one thing that Miguel Cabrera pretty much has demonstrated to us, Mario, since he put on the Tigers uniform in 2008. He can play with pain. It takes a whole lot to get him out of the lineup, period.
Well, when you play every day like Cabrera does, eventually the bumps and bruises start to add up. Now, he's had some more serious injuries over the years that he's been able to play through. Some guys probably wouldn't even attempt. Here's the 1-1. Fought that one off, 1-2.
And Quintana really going inside aggressively to Miguel Cabrera. The first pitch was way inside. That third pitch was way inside. And pretty much all afternoon long, he's crowded Miguel with lots of good firm fastballs inside. Going back in there again. He got lucky there. He missed with his location.
One and two on Miggy. One out here in the 8th. Castellanos on deck. And the 1-2. Driven to left field. Ball hit well. It's going to go. It's out of here. A home run. Cabrera golfs it into the seats and left. And it's 6-3.
That is the 7th home run that Miguel Cabrera has hit since the All-Star break. For the most part, all afternoon long, lots of fastballs inside by Quintana. This time he throws a breaking ball, and even though the breaking ball was located in an area that most guys cannot hit out of the ballpark, most guys aren't Miguel Cabrera, and he takes it and he lofts it out of the ballpark.
It's like a tennis volley out there. And Cabrera has hit his 25th of the year. That's also his 70th RBI. See if Ventura wants to take Quintana out of this game. He does. So Nate Jones, the right-hander, will be coming into the ball game. Will step aside. Pitching change here in Detroit. Timeout for the home field advantage brought to you by Lowe's. And here's how the Tigers have improved at home this year compared to last year. They are 31-19 at Comerica Park. Last year they were 24-26 through the first 50 home games. And the run differential, boy, quite a difference there.
Well, the years where the Tigers obviously were able to get into the postseason, they really held serve here at home. Performed outstanding baseball at Comerica Park, not so much last year.
Miggy climbing another list, isn't he?
45th.
Career home runs.
Next up, Andrew and Juan Gonzalez. Andrew Jones and Juan Gonzalez.
Now Nate Jones comes in to face Castellanos. And Nick lines one to right field. Garcia makes the catch.
Nate Jones has got a big arm. He's got a fastball that goes anywhere from 96 all the way up to 100 miles an hour. He also has a slider. They list him as having a curveball and also a changeup, but he does not throw those pitches very often. 51 strikeouts already for Jones in 49 games, and he hasn't walked very many, just 11.
JD Martinez 2 out of 3 today. Single, double, or unscored. Drive one foul, back out of play. .6-3 ball game. Tigers got a run in the 7th, one here in the 8th. The 0-1. Swing and a miss.
Good slider. 89-mile-per-hour slider.
Last 27 outings for Jones, an ERA of about 1.5. Checked it. Did not go. Close.
Yeah, good call by Jeff Kellogg. It was close.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And JD's out of there. That'll end the inning. So Jones comes on, gets 2 outs. We'll go to the 9th. Ball game, Shep, as we go to the top of the 9th inning here. And for the White Sox, it'll be Eaton and then Abreu and Morneau. 3-run game now as Mark Lowe goes back out there. Lowe had a scoreless 8th. 6 runs, 9 hits for Chicago. 3 runs, 8 hits for the Tigers here this afternoon. Lowe gave up a walk, but no damage in the 8th. A little bit outside. 1-0. The 9th inning is underway. Eaton today is 1 for 3, single, and he also knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly. Two and 0. Castellanos guarding the line at third base against Eaton. And a strike call, 2-1. So Lowe here is going to have to go through the heart of the lineup. Eaton, Abreu, and Morneau. Another strike on the outer edge. 2-2 now on Adam Eaton. David Robertson, the closer for the White Sox, warming up. Boy, the Tigers got to him last
They sure
time.
did. They had 3 home runs against him in 1 inning, didn't they?
Yeah, they won't be intimidated by that. That's line to right field. J.D. stumbling, can't hold on to it. And Eaton is aboard to lead off the 9th inning.
It's a great effort here by Martinez. It appeared to have the ball in his glove, and then when his glove made contact with the grass, the ball just kind of worked its way out. Couldn't close the glove because of the way that it was sitting on the ground.
It'll be a single for Eaton, despite the Martinez effort. Here is Jose Abreu. In there, strike 1 on Abreu. It's the 10th hit of the day now for Chicago. And Abreu's gotten one of them, a 2-run shot back in the 2nd. Here's the 0-1. Runner bluffs inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
If you're low, you've got to pay some attention to Adam Eaton over at first base. You have to make sure you keep your double play in order, especially with Abreu in the batter's box. Do not allow Eaton to steal second.
Busted him inside, 2-1.
Yeah, he's been getting a steady diet of fastballs inside this year, Jose Abreu. That's how teams have elected to get him out. But really, guys that are big and strong and physical, that's how you must get them out. You have to tie them up inside. And when they extend their arms, they do a lot of damage.
Fouled away.
Here's the 1-800 call Sam call of the game. Wilson came in and pitched 2 1/3 scoreless baseball. Kyle Ryan also did a marvelous job, and Mark Lowe is trying to complete that trifecta by keeping the score right where it's at.
Abreu's home run in the 2nd today was the 10th that he has hit against the Tigers in, well, a little less than 3 years. It's his 3rd year in the big leagues. He has hit well in this ballpark. And another throw to first base. Leadoff single by Adam Eaton. And Rondon now starting to heat up in the Detroit bullpen. Missed it outside, 3-2.
And by the count going 3-2, now there will be no double play, at least no double play on the ground, because Eaton will be on the move.
Runner going, and a swing and a high drive to center. Collins circling under it. 1 gone. Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Jordan Zimmermann, the big story as far as the Tigers are concerned today, lasted 1 2/3 and left after giving up 6 earned runs. Kinsler and Cabrera each with homers for the Tigers, and Garcia hit his 3rd home run in the series for the White Sox.
And Zimmermann needed 53 pitches to get to the 1 2/3 innings this afternoon. You could tell from the get-go that he was still a little off after not making a start since June 30th.
That is popped up foul off the bat of Morneau. Morneau, a couple of doubles in this game.
And one of the reasons why the Tigers kind of standed pat at the trade deadline, they were getting J.D. Martinez back. They were getting Jordan Zimmermann back. But you've got to have a healthy Jordan Zimmermann.
And the Tigers need to remain healthy going forward.
That much is true. 11 games over 500 right now for the Tigers. It's been a couple of years since they've been 11 games over 500.
1-1 on Morneau. Tigers really, the really good streak started at Fenway Park when they walked in there and swept the Red Sox.
A good Boston Red Sox team at home.
They did not face David Price in that series, but still the Tigers going into that park and sweeping came away with a really good feeling about themselves, and then a long homestand.
Have you seen some of David's numbers this year?
I have.
Man.
Yeah, not David Price like.
He's going through it.
So I'm not sure that would have made a difference anyway had he pitched. Runner goes, and here comes the throw down to second. Tag right on the back. Got it.
What a great throw by Saltalamacchia.
Can't make a better throw.
Eaton got a really good jump. I mean, a really good jump. But look at the exchange to the throwing hand and the quick feet by Saltalamacchia. He threw the ball right on the bag. And look at where Iglesias took the throw. You cannot make a better throw than Saltalamacchia just made here.
So they're empty now with 2 outs. 2-1 on Morneau. He'll shoot one to second on one hop. Kinsler, and that will end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We're going to the bottom of the 9th. Here comes David Robertson. Presented by Gordon Chevrolet. Noah Syndergaard, Justin Verlander tomorrow in the series opener against the Metropolitans.
How about the strikeouts of these two? 150 for Syndergaard, 155 for Verlander. Syndergaard very stingy in the base on balls department, and both guys have outstanding ERAs. It should be a very fun night of baseball, Mario, here tomorrow night.
And both top 10 in strikeouts in Major League Baseball. Verlander will be on display again tomorrow. We've got a new pitcher now as we go to the bottom of the 9th, David Robertson.
And for the most part, Robertson features just one pitch. It's a cut fastball. He has 25 saves and 29 chances, and you can see 7 earned runs for Robertson in his last 7 innings pitched. So he hasn't been that sharp out there lately.
Robertson second in the American League with 98 saves since the start of the 2014 season. He will face Justin Upton, Tyler Collins, Jared Saltalamacchia. Tigers down by 3, 6-3 in the 9th. And the first one is in for a strike, 0-1 on Upton. Justin had a single in the 7th inning. Tigers strung together 3 hits in that inning to get a run. They were down 6-1 most of the day. Upton lines one, base hit left field. And the leadoff man is on. The second hit of the day for Justin. Tyler Collins.
Tyler's had some good at-bats today. He's got one hit to show for it, but he's hit 2 balls right on the screws to the shortstop and the second baseman, and that went for ground outs.
Swing and a miss. Collins had a base hit to knock it a run in the 7th, his 10th RBI of the year. Oh, a strike called, and the count is 0-2. Right at the top of the strike zone against Collins. Some more action. Canely and Jennings warming up. Not much of a vote of confidence for your closer, that's for sure. 0-2, the count stays on Collins.
Check out the umpire, Brian O'Nora, when he gets set before the pitch comes that Robertson is throwing, because he knows Robertson throws all those cut fastballs. Mario, he's sitting right on the shoulders here of the catcher, and to give himself a real good look at that cutter on the inside part of the plate to the left-handed batter. He's got a bird's eye view of it.
Bouncer right back to the mound. Robertson to second one. The relay, double play. 2 gone. That was a tough play there by Robertson.
It really was, but he looked like an athlete out there. Good pitch, jumped up, turned, threw off balance accurately, and able to complete the double play.
So they're empty now for Saltalamacchia.
That ball looked like it was headed right back up the middle.
Which would have changed the complexion of this inning severely. No balls, 1 strike. They played a pull on Saltalamacchia. Tigers down to their final out. Down 6-3 here in the 9th. Popped him up. Should do it. Frazier, and that is that. The White Sox will spoil the Tigers' party today as they gain 1 win in this series. So the Tigers' win streak comes to an end. 6-3 final today. We'll be back.